My name is Randy Bigley. Joining me on the podcast right now, we're going to talk with Crawford County Veteran Services. It's Mike Amsbaugh. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Randy. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good. Very good. Go ahead.
We were talking last time. We talked about the benefits and stuff and what to look out for with all this stuff going on with Camp Lejeune and all that.
Right.
We're going to talk about this week. This time, we're going to talk about if you do get benefits. They can change through time, right? I mean, yeah, right?
Right. Yeah, so a good example of that is, we'll use the PACT Act. Their hypertension is the big one. There are veterans who filed for hypertension associated to exposure to Agent Orange years ago. And the VA said no, because it wasn't on the list and they weren't able to connect it with a disability that they currently had. But now it's on the list. So, again, you have a disability, the VA says no, and given time, the law changes, and now it's service connectable. Now you can service connect that. It's just like if that veteran had passed away, if the reason for their passing wasn't on the list, but now it is, that survivor who initially wasn't eligible for dependency indemnity compensation now is. So it's, sometimes the answer no isn't always the final answer. Pension is the same way. Pension is an income-based benefit. At the time, maybe our survivor doesn't qualify because they have too much income or too much net worth or both. But 10 years down the road, that net worth is depleted. They have medical expenses. Their income isn't what it used to be. Now they may qualify. So at the time it was, you meet all of their criteria except you have income greater than the standard for the VA. You still meet all the criteria. Your circumstances have changed. Now you may qualify. So it's one of those things where it never hurts to ask.
Right.
Is there a benefit for me?
Yeah, because there's a lot of benefits for survivors, isn't there?
Oh yeah. So we're talking if we talk about dependency indemnity compensation, that's the closest thing that a survivor can receive to service-connected compensation for a veteran. They have access to the CHAMP VA healthcare, which is it's kind of like it pays at the same rate as Medicare or TRICARE.
Okay.
They get a card. They're medically insured by the Department of Veterans Affairs. They have a prescription drug program. So they could go to their doctor, present their CHAMP VA card, and receive care, have a co-payment. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. It'll work as a secondary to Medicare if that's what they have. Or if they have another medical insurance, it'll work as a secondary to that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But the prescription drug thing, that's pretty neat. It works a lot like with the veteran prescription drug program through the VA. They just get their doctor to give them a prescription written for 90 days at a time, and over the course of a whole year. They fill out one form, attach those prescriptions, mail it in, and when they start running low, they call and they send them the next refill.
Oh wow!
It's really a pretty neat system.
Yeah.
So yes, there's that, and right now DIC is $1,200-$1,300 a month. That's tax-free money. Everybody could use a little extra money.
Yeah, sure.
Right. So that's those are the two big ones with DIC. With non-service connected pension, there's no CHAMP VA, but there is the pension, so there is extra income.
Okay. If someone has questions about this, do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can get a hold of us. We're located here in Bucyrus in the courthouse and the administration side in the lower level, and we're there Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And our phone number is 419-562-7761. Be glad to answer questions or help in any way that we can.
I was going to say there's probably a lot of questions out there, not only for vets themselves, but maybe their surviving spouse or
right. Yeah. So the PACT, like I said, the PACT Act, because that's the current one. There are veterans that may have they may have filed in the past and been told no. Things have changed. They're now eligible. There are veterans that passed away that the reason for their passing is now on that list of presumptively service-connected conditions that might change the answer that the survivor gets from the VA as to whether or not they can receive DIC. So best thing is, if you have a question, give us a call.
Oh, sure, yeah. Doesn't hurt to ask, does it?
No. Oh, yeah. If you don't ask, the answer is equivocally no. So it's always best to ask.
Before we go, I want to make sure people realize don't fall for the Camp Lejeune scams out there.
Yeah.
Because I see them every day. And more and more, I get emails and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I told you when I was here that's like, it's like confetti.
Yeah.
It's like walking down Main Street and just having people throw buckets of paper on you.
Right.
Because it's literally everywhere.
Yeah.
And so if you file with the lawsuit, so there's two things that are going on here. You have a class action lawsuit. You probably should have competent legal counsel for that. It's a lawsuit. There's also service-connected compensation. Now, it's a lot like the Agent Orange in that it's presumptive.
Okay.
Because you served here and you, between this date and this date, and you were there for more than 30 days, if you develop one of these conditions, service connection is presumptive and the VA will service connect the condition. You don't need an attorney for that. So, don't. We've had veterans that have called attorneys that they saw on the internet or heard on the radio, and then they call us and they're like, "Well, I don't really know how legitimate,
Yeah.
So one thing you probably should have an attorney for.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the class action lawsuit. The other thing, which is service connection through the Department of Veterans Affairs, you don't need an attorney for.
Okay.
You can go to your local service officer and they can help you file that claim.
Okay.
But again, it's presumptive. So the condition that you're filing for has to be on the list of presumptive disabilities caused by exposure to the chemical cocktail in the groundwater there at Camp Lejeune.
Here's another hint for you. If they send you an email and Lejeune is spelled wrong, which I've seen that, they may be phony. It may not be legit.
It's kind of like the Ethiopian prince that wants to give you $12 million.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just send them that money; they'll send that $12 million to you.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Best thing to do is to ask your friends. Hey, I'm looking for an attorney. Who would you recommend? If you have an attorney, or a family attorney, ask him or her. Who would you recommend? Sometimes they know exactly. Oh yeah, this is what so and so handles, and they can refer you. Sometimes they'll do it for you. But that way you ensure that you're getting good quality, competent representation.
Yeah. Be careful out there, right?
Right. Oh yeah. Don't as flashy and tempting as those ads are.
Right.
Don't fall for it. And here's the thing: there are good law firms that are advertising, but then there are also a lot of really bad, really shady law firms that are advertising. And there's no good way at a glance to sort out these are the good ones and these are the bad ones. You have to do a lot of research.
And but if anybody has any questions, they can get a hold of you, right?
Yes. If you have questions, like I said, that's what we're here for.
Like if this is lawyers legit or not, right?
No, I can't tell you that. I can tell you kind of what what you should be thinking about as far as do I want this individual to represent me? Do I feel comfortable? Do they have references? And more than what you just maybe read on the internet or somebody it's Acme Law Firm and somebody stands up and says they did a good job for me. How does that make you feel?
Right.
Ask a local attorney. a family friend for a reference to an attorney.
Yeah.
But ask somebody locally, who would they be able to do it? Who would they recommend? And more often than not, you're going to get really good advice.
All right. Mike, thank you so much for coming in, and it's good talking to you.
Yes.
And like I said, how does someone get a hold of you then?
Okay, so Monday through Friday, we're open. We're in the lower level of the courthouse. They can call us. Our number is 419-562-7761, and we'll answer and either talk to you on the phone or have you come in and help you out, whatever's necessary.
All right, Mike. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you for having me.